Good evening and welcome to the PinkUn Show, our dedicated Canaries shenanigans that struggled with dodgy handwriting for at least 5 years. That's certainly my excuse anyway. I'm Michael Bailey, good evening to you. We are here at the Woolpack Public House in the centre of Norwich. We are live and over the next 30 minutes or so we will reflect on that Miller's tale, share the Academy love, but also question Todd's hair, look forward to some Trotter's revenge and realise Nelson may not quite be going anywhere again just yet. We will do this all in the company of tonight's fine guests, TV commentator extraordinaire Dan O'Hagan, and along come Norwich's Andy Lorne, although Andy's not here yet, and by a remarkable set of circumstances, Andy's dad Mark is here. Mark, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for coming in, and we'd have had an empty chair if it wasn't for you. We're hoping Andy's on his way and everything's okay.
Yes, I hope so. I'm now going to text him to see if I can find out where he's probably gone to the other Woolpack.
That would definitely be wonderful. So you do that, let us know. As we say, we hope Andy's all right, because we're not going to make a joke if something's up, but I'm sure everything's fine and he's on his way, and I'm just delighted that Mark, his dad's turned up, which is brilliant. Great to have you both on. Dan, how are you? Are you well?
I'm good, yeah, always good to be here, and with Norwich doing so well as well.
No, it's surprised us all, but we'll most definitely get onto that. We are live on PinkUn.com and of course the PinkUn Facebook page, and we want to hear from you too, be it on Todd's hair, not going to let it go, Jamal's withdrawal, the glory of the championship table, your hopes for January, and especially in honour, I've written here, in honour of Andy being here with us, which he's not yet, we'd like to know the one thing you wish City would introduce to Carrow Road for home fans. Let your imagination run wild, and then we'll decide whether we can broadcast what you actually say. You can get all of those through to us here down the pub. Simply post your words below the live Facebook, PinkUn Facebook feed, and make sure it is the PinkUn one, otherwise they won't come through here. And those will ping right through to my phone, and we will relay the message. For example, Black K Kev says Stevie Riddle. Don't know what that means, but that's brilliant. And Barry Newman says, good evening, gentlemen. Biggest win of the season coming at home on Saturday. Barry, that is the spirit, most definitely. So keep those coming in. Once again, Wesley Moulahan and Onel Hernandez are ready and waiting. Good work, Dan. To fill us all in on this week's Canaries Tales, here are this week's Norwich City headlines. A Miller's thriller. The width of the post helped City out before they turned Warne's men over for win in the league, number 11 of 14. It's still remarkable, and they did it despite dodgy handwriting, seeing Jamal Lewis brought off instead of Teemu Pukki. Try to be a bit more careful in future, guys, please. Or raspy. They've got Warneola. They've got Warneola. If you haven't seen what Paul Warne had to say around Saturday's game, then take it in. The man is Norwich through and through, and in turn, we're all Rotherham fans from now, I'm sure. Turn up Pompey. At least we're not bottom. I don't know what that means, but there we go. What does that actually mean? Current League One leaders put... No, it doesn't matter. Turn up Pompey, turn up. I think that's what I meant. Anyway, current League One leaders Portsmouth will visit Carrow Road in the new year for the FA Cup third round. Should be a good tie all round, that one. And finally, he's not gone yet. Speculation suggesting City have already agreed a deal with Besiktas for Nelson Oliveira are wide of the mark, but at least everyone's been reminded he does still exist. January is fewer than 4 weeks away. Stellar work, Dan. Much better than my reading, which was quite shocking, really. Gents, it has been one of the quieter weeks, hasn't it? And we had one game, which was a beneficial one, and a really good win in the end too. So it's just remarkable how things are going since you were last on, Dan.
Yeah, the mood has changed, completely, and looking good, playing some good football. And, a run of this many games without defeat and playing so well, that's no fluke. So you can say, 3 or 4 games in a row can be a fluke. This run, it's no fluke, so I think Norwich are, maybe, dare we say, the real deal.
The real deal. That's what we've all been hoping for, Mark, isn't it? All been hoping for that.
Yes, we are, yes.
That's the way. Has Andy got back in touch with you?
He has got back in touch with me. That's why I was reading it and not really listening. He'll be here in 20 minutes.
He'll be here in 20 minutes. He's blatantly forgotten that we start at 6, hasn't he, and thought it was 7. Never mind, we'll fill in until then. So, Mark, at least we know Andy's okay. When in the summer, at the start of the season, where would you have thought Norwich would be? And I'm assuming it wasn't top of the table.
No, I thought we'd probably have a mid-table season, having lost Maddison and the other so-called star players, Wes particularly. I'm always a big fan of Wes. I felt we would struggle, but the opposite has happened. Instead of having the kind of star players that the game sometimes used to flow through, particularly Wes and Maddison, they used to depend on them. It's much more of a team now. There are some terrific players in there, but it's a lot more of a team, and we've seen that with players that have not managed to make it into the team this season, or injuries, and it's been covered quite well. That is a real team, working as a team, and a proper team ethic. You saw that at the end of the game on Saturday when they came over and there was that one-on-one with the Barkley and the fans. So
the atmosphere around the place is completely different, Dan, and it's remarkable how this is what Daniel Farke has said and talked about, say, at the start of last season. And it's just, obviously it's going to take time to bring that sort of thing in as a unifying force, but it's really there.
Yeah, Norwich it's a unique place. It's a one-club county, and I think when Norwich does well, the whole city has a lift. It reminds me a lot of 03-04 with Worthington and that team, and how the whole city got behind that team and loved that team. And I see a lot of similarities. And it's early days, not even halfway through the season yet, but I just think the whole feel-good factor now is such that the signs look really, really encouraging.
I spoke to Dominic Shaw at the Teesside Gazette during the week and had a good chat with him, because Middlesbrough fans were presumably like, where have Norwich come from? I noticed Tony Mowbray, Blackburn manager as well, listing, someone asked him, are Blackburn going to finish in the top 6 this year? And he listed all the teams that they're competing with in terms of budget, so Derby, Villa, Middlesbrough, Leeds. No, it still didn't mention the actual team that was running away at the top. So, we talk a lot about Norwich going under the radar. I don't think that's necessarily true with the media. I think everyone knows where Norwich are. But I wonder if other people are only just starting to take Norwich seriously, maybe other clubs possibly, because a lot of them are expecting Norwich to fall away. Are you expecting them to fall away, Mark?
I have no idea. You get it in this division where a team could put a good or bad run together and shoot up or down. Leeds have been the only really consistent team all season. They've been in the top 3, I think, just about all season. You don't know. Hopefully, the signs are good. We've got that. There's that feeling about the club which you can't put a finger on. They seem to have the opposite down the road at Ipswich. They seem to have fallen into a kind of resigned idea that they're going to go down. I'm not sure they will, but we'll see, won't we? I think Lambert will probably get the best out of the team he's got there, but it does look like a poor team, and they haven't had the new manager bounce that they would have hoped when he came in. Transfer window could be important for them. But
if they're still attached to at that point. If we were going to be nitpicking, Dan, they were 1-0 down against Rotherham. Great that they're doing all these comebacks, etc. But maybe not make life difficult for them, because if that Ryan Williams hitting the post, if that goes in 2-0, it's a different class.
If I have one fear, it's the goalkeeper. I think Norwich need a goalkeeper they can rely on. We've had over the years here some amazing keepers. Angus Gunn last season, and Tim Krul has been over the years a top goalkeeper, but for some reason this year he's error prone, and I do have my concerns that it gets to March, April time, tight games against promotion rivals, you're 0-0 away from home. Can you rely on Krul not to make a big mistake at a big moment? And I just think at the moment there are mistakes in him, as we're seeing in recent matches.
The bizarre thing is they turned it around against Villa and against Forest, so they're even proving us wrong, Dan. What can we say? But long may it continue. No update on Andy. He's just sent me a message. I won't tell you exactly the word he used because I'm not allowed to. But he did think it was at 7, so it's hilarious. Take your time, Andy. It's all right. Your dad's doing a great job. In fact, to be honest, next time, let's leave that for later. But he's all right. So that's the main thing. He is on his way. Will we still be on air when he gets here? That's the question. The traffic's pretty bad around Norwich these days. Okay, so the one. Let's have a look at some of your messages. As I said, the one thing we want from you tonight is the one thing you want to be introduced to Fortress Carrow Road that as a supporter you just want to see. Because I figured Andy might be able to put in a word, but now it'll have to be Mark who'll have to have a word with Andy who can put in a word. But what other messages have we got here? Alan Monument says hello to me and to you guys, so that's good. Let's David McKenzie, evening guys, top of the league, looking great, big smiley face. Craig Brown, just for the record, all the people singing the hates. Oh, here we go. Craig Brown saying that the people singing hate songs about Paul Lambert are racist. So I should have read that message before I started reading it out. Respect Lambert, just can't participate in spewing hate. Well, fair enough. I think in football fans, we'd all like everyone to partake in respect for everyone, most definitely, and obviously pertinent given last week's Rainbow Laces campaign. Alan Monument, he says, I thought we'd just scrape the playoffs at the start of the season. I think you're well on that. and most would agree with you, Alan. Anthony Miles, evening from California. Evening, Anthony. I hope it's not chucking it down at about 6 degrees outside in California. And a little thing's popped up. Andrew Lawn is watching. So, get ready, and don't watch. Get ready, Andy. Come on now, man. Andy, if you've got one thing you want to be introduced to Carrow Road, let me know. And you guys can do that as well. Richie Temple, the Lower Barclay to be a yellow wall like Dortmund. Thumbs up. Richie, I'll tell Andy when he gets here. I'm going to rib him for this for all time. Anyway, as you may know, we have a new PinkUn app. I think we've mentioned it once or twice. And if you've become one of its users, you will get exclusive content from us behind the scenes, including Paddy Davitt, my esteemed colleague, inviting you into his home. Doesn't happen to many of us, on a Sunday to review the latest City action. And as a special treat, you can watch a little teaser of last Sunday's post-Rotherham edition right now. Or Sean will in a minute. No, he's not. Alright, well there we go. Are you going to look for it or are we going to scrap it? He'll look. Alright, see if you can... Alright, well that was good. Hopefully you'll get to see that in a minute. The good thing is you'll be able to watch it on the YouTube channel later this evening, so that's all. Well, Sean, are you sure? Do you want to have a go at another one, Sean? Okay. Never mind. We'll leave it for this week. But if you download the app, you can watch it anyway. So it's there and it'll be on the PinkUn YouTube channel in a bit. After Saturday, Paul Warne said some lovely things. Obviously a Norwich lad, isn't he, Mark? I mean, had Paul Warne sort of place in Norfolk football registered with you before he came down with Rotherham?
I don't think really, till he's done well with them, and he's always praised up Norwich, and you know what fans are like. If a player leaves or another manager praises the team, when they leave or diss the team, then there's always that reputation that immediately comes along. I mean, I think you saw the same with Lambert, although he didn't really say anything about Norwich. When he went to Ipswich, immediately he's like Judas and all this stuff. And he's a football manager, he needs a job, And he did a brilliant job here, didn't he? I mean, that was a spell that all of us will always remember, a fantastic time.
He did, and I'm sure not many will hold it against him in terms of going to Ipswich. And Paul Warne's words after the game, all about his family, his dad's not very well, and that big experience of him at Carrow Road. I think that was not normal, even a manager being that honest, to be honest.
Yeah, open guy, nice guy, good Norfolk guy, clearly a big Norwich fan as well. And he's doing a great job. Rotherham as a team don't have much money, promotion last season, and they try and play some decent football as well. I think Paul Warne is a manager with a big future, and who knows, maybe even here one day.
Maybe it would be an interesting one, wouldn't it, in terms of where it'll happen. We should talk about the kids, shouldn't we? That's what we should get onto now, because you mentioned them at the start. It feels to me like this was the first time Todd Cantwell's really joined Max Aarons and Jamal Lewis in terms of on their level. Brilliant second half performance from Todd, and a real opportunity now for him to show what he's all about.
I think so, and I think as well, a good team needs that homegrown nucleus. You think of the class of '92. Players who know the club, who know the ethos of the club, who've come through the youth system. I think to have Aarons, to have Lewis, Cantwell all playing at a very high level now and looking so at home in the first team already, it bodes so well for Norwich. And that they're all players who know the club, how it all works, and to have three of them in the team at the same time is terrific.
Mark, how long have you been watching Norwich for?
Since about 71, when we got promoted, that first time we got promoted to the first divisions, when I started going regularly. My first away was the Watford game that sealed us the championship when Dave Stringer scored.
You're a big glory hunter.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You've seen the club, you've watched the club for almost 50 years then, effectively. So, it's good number. In terms of the youth ethos, have you felt that that's always been around, or has it sort of come and gone? Does it make a difference if the players sort of coming through the system like that?
Yeah, there's always been an element of that here, where we've seen many players come through at Norwich, and I think Norwich has got Norwich is one of the smaller clubs. I mean, you don't really go and watch Norwich if you're a glory hunter. It's a local team, not much like Rotherham or Gillingham or any of those other teams. It's much less of a big business club like Tottenham or Tottenham or Arsenal. So when you get the local players come through, there is that very much connection, because the club is more connected, I think, with the community than some big clubs. So I think we take them to our hearts a lot more, perhaps. And you remember them. You remember the big players as being part of the community. One for me has always been Duncan Forbes. Now, unfortunately, not very well at all with Alzheimer's, but he was part of the whole community. We'd always have a word for you, as a fan. He talks here, and that's a good thing to have about a smaller club like Norwich.
Absolutely, absolute club legend. And in terms of this group, I mean, obviously they were only just starting out in their Norwich City careers, but they, does it feel special that they've got these guys coming through?
Yeah, I mean, it's terrific to see. It's terrific to see the young players coming through and the reception they get, and to have a Dereham lad scoring a goal in front of the Barclay, that must have been phenomenal for him. And for the Barclay, they share that joy, I think, with him.
Absolutely. He didn't do a knee slide though, and he did say he would. Come on, Andy. Come on in. Oh, go on, Dad.
Now this is like Ida Gudjonsson's Iceland debut when he came on for his dad.
I was going to say could probably all squeeze in, really. But, everyone should squeeze in, but there we go. Well, subbed in. We didn't even get a chance to see Andy's T-shirt. Sean, can you get them all in? Well, sorry, Wesley Muller-Hanscott. Let's move all down. Come on in. Andy. Hello there.
Hello, sorry about that.
That's all right, no problem. Are you well?
I'm very well, thank you.
There was a period at the start where we were like, we can't talk about this too much because we generally don't know how you are. And now, obviously, we can rib you relentlessly for it.
Yes, you can. I hate being late as well, I really hate it, yeah.
Well, that's shocking. By the way, we didn't actually get to see your T-shirt. Is obviously one of the Long Come Norwich T-shirts?
Long Come Norwiches, yeah, and Buckley End.
Sean's going to do some camera work. Look at that. Well done,
I've
Sean.
got one as well, actually.
Have you got one as well? Oh, all right. Come on then. As you're shortlisted. Well, hello. Put it away.
There we go.
I haven't even mentioned the Teemu Pukki resemblance yet, but we'll do.
Oh, there we go. You can see it.
Oh, it's a T-shirt of yourself. I see.
Well, I actually had this on in a pub recently, and a guy introduced me to his new girlfriend, and I said hello, and then she turned back to him and said, "Is he wearing himself on his T-shirt?" And my mate Jack said, "Yes, he is."
Yes. Well done, my man. Well, this could be the start of something, really. And being passed off for a professional footballer, that's good.
Doesn't happen every day for me.
Not yet.
No, not anymore. Well,
wait until they're in the Premier League, Andy.
But yeah, good days. In Finland, I wouldn't have to buy a drink.
This is true. You better move. How are you? Were you all well?
Very well, thank you. Very well indeed.
Why are you late?
Because I didn't see your new start time, so I was able for 6:45.
I mean, the bizarre thing, we haven't actually been able to stick to it yet. We keep being slightly late.
So it's your fault.
Your dad's been brilliant, by the way.
Good. Taught him everything he knows.
Yeah, brilliant. That's not how it works at all. And just to bring you right up to speed, we're asking everyone out there their one thing that they would wish for to be introduced to Carrow Road, whatever it is, the fan experience. Because you're the man in the know, you can make these things happen. Now we've decided. Yeah. We've had so far. What did we have? We had one from. Oh, I've got to find it now. I'm so good at doing this, by the way. But it was basically about making the... where is it not there? It's disappeared. Making the lower Barclay into a yellow wall like Dortmund. From Richie Temple, thumbs up.
Yeah, completely. We completely agree with that. We'd love to do that. We're looking into getting some more flags at the moment so we can spread them out across the Barclay rather than just E and D block. And we've got some plans for the next couple of games that will hopefully... spread it even more. We're starting small, but we're getting there.
I love it. Liz Miffy Howlett says a second tier on the Jeffrey Watling stand. Can you deal with that one?
Yeah, but I'm not sure it'd be necessary because we don't sell out all the time, and I prefer the ground to be packed out than there be loads of yellow empty seats.
Fair shout. And did we have some other ones? Matt Gregory, bring back yellow nets and splat the cat. Seriously, another tier on the city stand to get over 30,000 in the ground and no season ticket waiting list, but as Annie points out, possibly empty seats. But the one, yellow nets. Yeah. Has this come up in these discussions you have behind the scenes?
It has a few times, actually. I think there's some television rules around Sky about whether or not it's fully possible, but it's something they're looking into, definitely.
Because Bournemouth have red nets, don't they?
Yeah, I think there's some sort of issue with the way they did them before, but yeah, we've raised it a couple of times, and yellow nets and safe standing would be my two things.
Love it. Good work. All right, more to come. I think, well, should we do a triple header? Triple header of this. Flip the bird. Go on, Sean. We're back on. It would be mean to say that Sean's an Ipswich fan at this point. He's probably got his mind on other things. It is Flip the Bird, the game that, unlike City, tends to need a Route 1 approach. Last time out, we saw a new leader this season as last term's joint winner, Steve Cook, notched a heavenly 11, while Dave Powell's brought the entertainment with a solid debut 5. Tonight sees Andy and Dan attempt to top their 6 and 5 from earlier this season, respectively. And Mark, on a surprise debut, who is definitely playing this game, by the way, is going to have a go as well. Why not? In short, the guys have 30 seconds to flip as many bar mats as possible, adding one to their flipping pile with each successful one-handed catch. Everyone scores will count at the end, and we'll do a big old selfie with Wesley Moulahan after the show, because that's how it works. Andy, I think as you've taught your dad everything you know, you need to teach him the rules of this game.
Well, the rules that Tom Parsley incorrectly taught me last time, you mean?
Oh, yeah, there was. Well, yeah.
So as I understand it, you flip one, catch it, you add one to that, so you're then flipping 2, catch it.
That's it, exactly.
Right,
And if you drop them, you don't start again at 1, you just try another attempt at getting your 2.
Okay.
All right with that, Mark?
Sounds great,
It
yeah.
looks like I think it's going to be a dark horse here. 30 seconds, Sean. Do you reckon you can count that? Bless him. Just 11 points. That's all he's thinking, and that's good because it leaves these guys to just sit. Look at this, poised and ready. Ready? 2, 1, go. And away we go. A really quick start with Dan, and he's almost hit Andy then in his t-shirt, t-shirt of himself, of course. This is probably the best looking crew of Flip the Bird we've had, and also they have logistical issues here in that there's not a lot of elbow room. I wouldn't want to be playing today. There is no room for these guys. We're also being shoehorned in the corner of the pub because of course it's almost Christmas and everyone's here for their meals. Yeah, I don't even get a drink or any food, and Andy and Mark haven't had any food. I'm not even commentating. 2, 1, go or finish, doesn't matter. It's just another false start. Well, there we go. We're finished. That's not your pile. Okay, Andy seems to have. Well, I don't know what's going on. 8. Eight's happy. 8. Andy's happy with his 8. Clearly, Mark.
3.
It's not the worst. I mean, it's the joint worst, but it's not the worst.
A risible 4.
And a risible 4 from Dan, which isn't actually as better than his 5 from earlier in the season. So, Andy, well done. 10 points. You come here late. You keep us all waiting, and then you win that.
That's what it is. You have to come in fresh.
He's just channeling too much Tamu. That's the problem at the moment. Well, we'll do a picture of some sort. I promise I'll try and remember, because generally I don't. Sean's all right? Happy? Sean's happy. I think it might be my issue with the video before, by the way. But sorry about that. It might be my fault, just to be honest. Poor old Sean's getting a lot of stick. He's got enough on his plate being an Ipswich fan. So we go to the trouble of getting these guests in, and when they turn up on time, we like to try and have a chat with them. So let's do that too. Dan, how's it going? You seem to be either commentating on German football here or in Germany commentating on the German football. Is it as good as it looks?
Yes, in Germany a lot. Yeah, I was at the Bayern Dortmund game a month ago, which was literally the best game I've ever been to. It was 3-2 Dortmund, 81,000 people there. The yellow wall, of course, just terrific. I mean, it was a great game of football. And this year as well, we got a real title race. Dortmund top of the league by, I think, 7 points right now, and it looks fantastic in Germany.
Dortmund back in fashion. We'll better get worried about that, hadn't we, I suppose. Professionally, as a TV commentator of national importance, are you hoping City go up?
Yes. I mean, basically, last time they were in the Premier League, I worked for the Premier League's TV channel, so if they went up, then maybe that work would come back again. But I think for Norwich, for the whole city, when the club does well, Norwich does well. And it just gives the whole place a lift. And I think professionally, personally, if they go up, and it's looking pretty good so far, it'd be great for everyone.
I've already got my stats of the 93% chance of it happening. But we'll talk about that. Paul Lambert as well. He was your co-commentator last season. He obviously did so well at co-commentating that Ipswich decided to employ him as a manager again. So
yeah, and I hope he does well. I mean, I know the Ipswich-Norwich rivalry, but Paul Lambert is a really good football guy. And we know his record here was an amazing period of football at Norwich City. So if he can keep them up, that would be for me a miracle, because he's taken over a team that was a League One team. I think Mick McCarthy was working miracles to keep them where they were last season, and it was all, get rid of Mickey, plays long ball football. They bring in Hurst, who is even worse, and I think if they stay up, Lambert will have done an amazing job. But sadly, I think they are too far gone now to be saved with that.
I mean, the good thing for Paul is there is a space next to you co-commentating probably in Germany if it does all fall down. So
The seat's always open.
Yeah, that's the way. Just bear that in mind, Paul. Andy, along come Norwich. Now, it's gone very well since you were last on, and you were at the Football Supporters Federation Awards on Monday.
Yeah, we were.
How was that?
It was really cool, actually. Really incredible to be in a tent, because it wasn't a room, it was a tent. It was a tent in the
Marquee.
marquee in the moat of the Tower of London.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But to be in a room with Gary Neville, Martin Tyler, Max Rushton, Barry Glendenning, Barney Roney, like these are all proper people. Like, damn, they're proper.
But were you there on time?
I was there on time. Yeah.
Were you wearing that T-shirt?
I was not. It was full
They
suit.
brought Timu with them, amazing.
It was a full suit do. I'm not keen on wearing a suit.
Was it black? Well, did you wear black tie?
No, I went pink tie.
Thanks, I'll take that.
Yeah. But yeah, to be in that sort of company for what is essentially just a few lads messing around in Norwich is pretty incredible. And we didn't win, but it was a public vote, and our Twitter account has 3,500 followers. Arseblog, who did win, they have 298,000 Twitter followers. So we're not going to win, but to be in that room was pretty cool.
There's a picture of you on the Facebook from Proud Dad moment. Proud Dad moment. Who were you starstruck by? Who was the one you walked past and went, oh, who's your hero there?
It was what was really weird, and I found the same thing first time I met Dan. Was seeing Martin Tyler speak, like seeing his face and hearing his voice at the same time was a really weird thing. So I think Martin Tyler.
Yeah, a lovely guy as well. I mean, Martin Tyler, not just the best there is, but also a really nice guy as well.
Too true, brilliant stuff. How proud are you of Saturday? Rainbow Laces campaign, the Justin Fashanu banner, which went down really well. We couldn't really see it properly from the press box, which is a bit of a shame. But I mean, just the effort and the reaction across that whole day, really.
Yeah, again, it's another really cool thing. Like we started this up because we had some things that we wanted to say about Norwich and what it was like to be a football fan, and the fact that people want to listen to us and want to get involved and help us out, and then we can do stuff like put on the banner was really cool. Well, it's one of the things we've learned actually is the rake of the Barclay isn't quite suitable to having surf a flag, so it was quite a shallow thing. It looked alright from Rob Butler's position up at the top of the south stand, but it didn't look as good as we'd hoped from the front. So these are all the sort of things that we're learning, but to be able to do that sort of stuff with Proud Canaries and get it out there, and I think it's a really cool thing to be able to do.
A couple of sticks at the back, maybe?
Well, potentially, but there is some concern that we may block the view of the corporates.
Oh, the looming corporates. Well, it's a
concern, but there is some concern.
Isn't it? No, it's not. They do pay a lot of money. Probably Timu's wage for a week. All right, so what about for the rest of the season then? I know we're almost halfway through and it's Christmas first, so you probably don't want to think about it, but have you got any big plans for Long Come Norwich?
Yeah, we've got some, carrying on doing what we're doing first and foremost, but we've got some really big plans in terms of working with Barclay and Norwich on some more displays for this season. Hopefully some more stuff, as I say, that goes across the Barclay rather than focused in that little area.
That's my wish too.
Yeah, and we will get there eventually, but there's quite a lot of logistical issues that we need to overcome first.
Well, keep going, Andy. Brilliant work, as always. And Mark, we've already had a chat, but how about your son?
What are they doing in Long Come Norwich? It's fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see the fans getting more of that kind of continental feel. We've been to St Pauli together, haven't we? And that's phenomenal there. That's just fantastic.
That was your jacket you turned up in as well. I hope you get your dad a drink, by the way, before you leave tonight, Andy, for stepping in so brilliantly.
I've got him t-shirts.
All right. There you go.
That's how I pay.
So, yeah, that's it. We only get t-shirt currency now. Brilliant stuff, gents. Thank you so much. Okay, Norwich City notice board time, if I may. Now, the Norwich City Fan Social Club, they round off their 2018 with a casino and games night at Carrow Road. It's £3 entry for the adults only night, with a maximum of £20 to gamble away. But you don't take cash from the night. It's top prizes that are on offer. If some people may be thinking, well, gambling, that's not the right thing to do, and fair play, it's a hot topic. It's more of a donation because all the money is going towards the Community Sports Foundation, and they of course are doing some fantastic work, and they also, a bit like Come Norwich, have some big projects on the horizon too. So it's at Carrow Road. The doors open from 7:20 on Thursday night, or tomorrow of course if you're watching live. And for more information, just visit ncfsc.co.uk. Sean is busy looking for lower third. Has he found it? Are you there, Sean? No, he's shaking his head. He's still thinking about those 11 points. Well, when you get a chance, Sean, don't worry. If there are any tweets, stories, events or groups of a Canaries nature that you want to flag up with us here on the PinkUn Show and our Norwich City notice board, then all you need to do is get in touch with us on the usual social media channels, or you can send us an email to thepinkun@archant.co.uk. Right. That was a lot of talking, wasn't it? Keep your messages coming in. We'll rattle through some of those in a moment. But it was another busy midweek and weekend, of course, in the Championship. So let's bring you up to speed with the Championship picture as it stands. Sheffield United, Middlesbrough and West Brom all suffered disappointment last weekend, while Declan Rudd may still be having nightmares about his trip to St Andrews. Swansea's promotion bid looks Swansea's promotion bid looks to be in tatters after a third straight defeat to a top six side, while Ipswich lost out again. That means Ipswich remain winless under Paul Lambert and in an increasingly perilous position. Bolton have the worst winless run in the division. Rotherham are still looking over their shoulders. As for the top half, Norwich are now 5 points clear of third placed West Brom, averaging 2 points per game after 20 games, and in the last 11 years, of the 15 teams that have done that, 14 have been promoted. While Swansea and Stoke are barely on the fringes, Villa are now very close to joining the top six pack. So as always, Villa kick off the weekend on telly, joined by West Brom, who were only on 2 days ago, of course. At least it's a decent derby fixture. Sheffield United are obviously on as well. Later in the evening, Ipswich head to Stoke, while Leeds welcome QPR. Borough and Forest will both be expecting to win at home. And there we go. It's still quite the table, isn't it, to look at, gents? We've got them all here, so have a browse. But Andy, when you look at the table, what goes through your mind?
There isn't really a better time to be a Norwich fan, is there, than Norwich top and Ipswich bottom. I saw a stat the other day that said that Norwich have more wins so far this season, Ipswich have points, which is pretty cool. Right, it doesn't really get any better than that, does it?
Well, how long? Well, I asked the gents earlier, so I can ask you, how long is this going to keep going? Either end, either bubble.
Well, I think, as Dan said earlier, I think Ipswich are doomed. They just look bereft. It's one of those seasons, I think, where absolutely nothing is running for them. For Norwich, I don't see any reason why the bubble will burst at the moment. The way we're playing, the confidence that we've got, and I think there's a real important thing about, at the moment, when we concede first, there's no panic. Let's just say, we'll go and score 3-4 second half and we'll win the game then. So I think that's a really positive thing for this season, because when the dark times come, I think we've got the character and the belief now to just ride it out.
Phenomenal position and feeling to have amongst the group, most definitely. Liam Cooper, Stuart Dallas, I think, are out for Leeds for 6 weeks. Could be what was expected of them, that as the Championship wore on, Bielsa's energetic ways might catch up with them a little bit.
Yeah, and also this year there's no Wolves. There's no team that are going to put
Your
run
team.
together. Yeah, exactly. There's no team that are going to run away with it. So I think Norwich are in there with a pack of maybe 6 or 7 other really strong teams. And as Andy says, the way Norwich are playing, there's no reason why that bubble's going to burst anytime soon. So great time to be a Norwich fan, and the way the season's begun, 19 games in, it looks really good.
Villa as well, Andy. I mean, they came to Norwich. I still thought they were the best side I've seen Norwich play all season. Bit of a statement win, 3-0 at Middlesbrough at the weekend. And you look at it now, I think they're right on the fringes. A few more points, maybe 3 points, aren't they, off the top 6? But you would imagine that it's not going to take them long to catch that up. That table's out of date, isn't it? That top half of the table. Oh well, never mind. Yeah, they're very close to the top 6 anyway.
Yeah, I mean, this division is an incredible division. Anyone can beat anyone on the day. You get a good run together, you hurtle up the top, and you can easily go down as well, as many teams have already proved this season. We'll see. Ask me in May. Yeah.
We'll definitely have you back on in May, by the way. We'll definitely go do that. So I've just realised that the table's out of date. I did update it, but there we go. Never mind. Is it update one now? Yeah, it doesn't matter. No, that's out of date. Is it on there now? Yeah, Norwich got 40 points from it. They're still top, and that's all we really care about. We'll correct that next week. It'll be fine. Do you expect Norwich to be on telly more times, maybe after Christmas, Andy? Because it hasn't happened much. I think they have got their Bristol City's coming up, and that's on the telly.
I expect they will, because I'm planning to go to Leeds, so obviously they'll change that. But yeah, I think we will now. I think the way that we're playing is easy on the eye, and I think Sky will start to notice that. And yeah, we're never going to be on as much as Leeds, because Leeds like to be on every week. But I think we will be on more second half of the season than we have been so far.
Okay, let's rattle through some of your messages. We've got loads of them, so thank you for those. Keep them most definitely coming. Excuse me for my cough. Alan Monument, where can I get a One City Strong T-shirt that is being modelled by Mark? Go on, Andy.
Well, sadly, at the moment, they're sold out, the One City Strong ones.
Dear.
But we have got a couple of designs in the pipeline, including a Christoph Zimmermann one, so keep an eye on longcomenorwich.com.
There you go. Simon Formby, bring back Angus Gunn, cruel, not good enough. John Dent, Spyro and Ida, the next one's question mark. I mean, they're both only 19, so we'll see where they are. Probably start next season would be an interesting one. They might need some games elsewhere. That's my main view. Neil Luther, so we're asking you the one thing you'd like to see introduced to Carrow Road. Neil Luther, a nice new tier on the main stand. God, it's very popular, isn't it? People want that second tier. Meaning more noise, more income, and a superb ground. What's wrong with Carrow Road now, Neil? Come on. Craig Brown, love the Pookie shirt. You look like Pookie. There you go, just to emphasise the point. Barry Newman, change the goal celebration music.
Well, there was talk about that as well, and whether or not we could just take it away entirely and just let the crowd celebrate. That's quite a divisive issue, music.
Yes, it is. And when they did take it away last time, it didn't really work, did it? I found, and I wanted it taken away.
Yeah, and I think the club agreed with that, so they trialled it for a little while and it didn't really work. But hopefully we'll get to a point where it'll be louder generally, so they can take it away again.
I like this one. Simon Formby would like to see the clock kept ticking in injury time to see how long is left. But I wonder if they're not allowed. I don't know.
They're not allowed. The rules are they have to stop it at 90 minutes. So it's all about kind of crowd issues, I think. But it's a silly rule, but that's what it's there for.
Yeah, let's just let them all have a fight in the unknown. Why not? There we go. Anthony Miles, get back in the Premier League so I can watch all the games. No, Anthony, was it Anthony who was in California? I think it was, wasn't it? I don't blame you. But you're in California, Anthony, so no complaints. And Richie Temple, Dan, has Farke's good work been noticed over in Germany?
I'm sure it has. I think he's done an amazing job here. It took him a while to get settled in, but now the team are playing great football. And also the guys he brought over with him, the footballers who've come in from Germany, they've had a year here to really get used to it, and they all look fantastic. So I'm sure they'll be on the radar of one or two clubs in the Bundesliga now.
Well, indeed, absolutely. Matt Gregory points out, aren't we on 40 points? The table says 30. It does, but there we go. I've obviously had a bit of a nightmare there, Matt. But Norwich are on 40 points. Don't worry, they didn't do anything untoward at the weekend, so that's good. Right, Bolton, let's move it on, finally, shoot to our Bolton preview. I'm writing my column today. I'm minded, and I will write this myself. Don't nick it for Long Come Norwich, although it's nothing. It's all perfectly out there. It was painful, wasn't it, against Bolton last year? I mean, if you talk about how bad it was at Carrow Road last year, the Bolton game was kind of one of those that was held up. And I remember Maurice Leitner, this wonderful player, put through one-on-one, missed the far post, and even like half of his teammates had their head in their hands because they couldn't believe it.
I think the Bolton game last season was kind of our season in a microcosm. Like, we played really well, I thought, first half, created a few chances, including the Leitner one, didn't take it, and then Bolton sort of stifled us second half, and we never got going, and we ended up drawing a game that we should have won. And I think that's the difference between last season and this season, is we're sustaining that performance level for longer, and when we are getting on top in games, we're taking our chances and we're winning games that we should be drawing, whereas last year we were drawing games that we should be winning.
Really funny old state of affairs at Bolton at the moment, isn't it? The last thing I saw is that the players have been promised they'll be paid by tomorrow because they haven't been the last couple of months, or there's only been issues with late payments. So if that doesn't happen, it could be quite an interesting proposition for Norwich on Saturday.
Yeah, the classic club who reached too high and too far for too long. I think Bolton, after years in the Premier League, overspending maybe, the kind of chickens have come to roost a bit there. And obviously a great club, sad to see, but they didn't live within their means for an awful long time.
Not the only ones. One thing I'm curious as well about Carrow Road, Andy. Mark, I'll ask you this as well. There doesn't seem to be that pressure. Normally I'd go into these games saying, well, if Norwich don't score really, there's going to be real tension. And, there seemed to be a legacy of the crowd that was in the ground for 3 or 4, 5 seasons and 7 years up and down. It's just not there at the moment, is it? Everyone seems, if it's a bit stodgy or a bit frustrating, then the crowd just up it. It's remarkable. I can't remember the last time I've seen it like that at Carrow Road, probably under Paul Lambert, to be honest.
Yeah, there's that feeling when we go one behind now that we're going to pull it back as we keep doing. In the past, sometimes you go 1-0 down and you think that's the game over. You've seen that with various Norwich teams. They concede and just shoulders just drop, and it happened a little bit against Leeds perhaps, that they kind of rolled us over after they scored. But in other games, we've just immediately come back. The atmosphere's coming up. They're getting behind the team. They're cheering the team on. The team clearly want to perform for the team and for the fans. It seems. It feels like.
There's changes on the pitch, aren't there, in terms of how Norwich are playing and obviously in the table and things like that. But it's not just that, is it? It does seem to be a change in the crowd itself.
Yeah, and I think an interesting thing, and I don't know how much has been noticed, but some credit has to go to the club for this, is at the start of last season, we suggested in the atmosphere meeting that they attack the Barclays second half, and they weren't really sure about it, and they said, Daniel and his staff have a preference type thing. Then after 6 months, they came back and said, we might trial it, we're going to warm up in front of the Barclays, and we're going to attack the Barclays second half. And this season, they've attacked the Barclays second half every single time, and I do think the atmosphere was lifted after half time, not just because we're playing better, but partly because it's a lot easier to get behind them when they're coming towards you, if that makes sense. It's a weird thing, but when they're attacking the river end, it just feels a bit far away.
Is that right? Have they not attacked? I thought we got to the point where one of the teams turned Norwich round because everyone was like, oh, they all know about it now. So, but yeah, you might. I can't remember now.
I remember, but certainly last few games we've attacked the Barclays second half. It doesn't always work. Obviously, we attacked the Barclays second half against Leeds and it's too late, but I think that has been a thing that the club have done, and I think it's made a difference.
And the pink dressing rooms, no one's talking about those anymore.
No, and I think, and again, it's all marginal gains, isn't it? I'm quite happy for them to paint it whatever colour they like.
Brilliant. Okay, well, the question is, of course, who would you play come Saturday? This used to be a good feature. But I've got to be honest, when Norwich are doing so well, it's really not. Craig Brown says Leitner has got to play if he's fit for Bolton. I don't imagine he will be, but he might be. I think there's an outside chance, possibly. And I don't know whose 11 we've got first, Sean. Andy, well, here's your 11. That's, no surprises there, I suppose. Do you want to just talk us through any controversy there?
Yeah, there aren't any controversy. The only thing I would say, and I agree, that if Leitner is fully fit, then he's our best player, he has to play. But if he's not fully fit, I think this is one of those games where you cannot necessarily risk him if we have got a busy Christmas coming up with some bigger games. So I'd be quite happy if he's 90% fit that they play Vrancic instead and save Leitner.
Dan, let's have a look at your 11 because you've basically got the same, but I've put that in brackets for
Leitner
you.
Fit. I think Leitner, as Andy says, if he's fit, he plays. He's an amazing footballer at this level, certainly, maybe in the top 5 in the entire league. And if he's fit, he plays. But otherwise, settled team, what's been doing so well recently, you don't rock the boat when things are going so well, so keep it as it is.
Which says a lot for Todd, in that he's come in now, and obviously O'Neill's probably out for another week or two, quite possibly. And Emi Buendia as well, who I love. I just think he's always, you could just see what he was about from when he first came in.
Yeah, Buendia. I didn't realise I saw him play the Under-20 World Cup in 2015 for Argentina. He was in my notes the other day. I was looking through and saw that. But
what did you put in your notes, Dan?
Back then he was a player.
Average.
Well, back then a player obviously I didn't know an awful lot about, but obviously we know now he's a terrific player, and he's come in first season. He was fitted in so well, and the whole squad. It's such a deep squad now as well. We can lose Vrancic or Hernandez for 3 or 4 games, and the players who come in are just as good. So that bodes well too. They've built very quietly a very deep squad here, and that certainly, going forward into the kind of New Year period is great news for Norwich.
It's exactly that. And the one for me, Tom Trybull, such a good player, showed it last season, just didn't play because of injuries mostly, and now we're like, probably not room for him.
Yeah, I think Dan's right. It's a deep squad, and it's also a squad that Farke's built for the way Farke wants to play. So, as Dan says, if someone drops out, the person coming in knows exactly how they're expected to play in that role, and that, I think that the addition of Cantwell coming in last week for Onel Hernandez, at the start of the season, you would have said that losing Onel was the biggest thing that could happen to us, and we don't miss him at all. And I think also Cantwell's goal will do him the world of good, because I felt he was snatching at chances a little bit before he got that one. Hopefully now he's got one, he'll just settle down, and he's a quality footballer.
I think that's a cracking point, and it was one hell of a second half performance from him, definitely, on Saturday. So here's to you, Todd. Right, a couple more messages, shall we? Neil Luther, as I said, we're asking you finally what you would introduce to Carrow Road if you could. So let's have our last little look. Neil says, not let any of the fans leave until the final whistle is blown. Like that, held against their will. That wouldn't have gone down well a few seasons ago, I tell you that much. Craig Brown, keep Vrancic in the team in number 10 role behind Pukki, with Cantwell and Teti and Leitner and Buendia in midfield. So that's a couple of changes. Warren Woodcock, I told you a few weeks back, and I'm going to say this again, we are Wolves of the Championship.
Well, I mean, that's a bold call, but I think certainly the way they're playing, there's so much belief there that the way they're going forward, it looks terrific.
Warren has the belief. That's what I'm gathering from that. Bob Flanagan, do you think we will spend in January and boost the front line to push for promotion, or will Delia keep the purse strings closed so we miss out on promotion to keep the wage bill down? I mean, that's two pretty polarising views there, Bob. I think that they won't spend any money because they probably don't particularly need to, but they'll keep an eye out. So there you go. Do they need to? That's the big question. No, says Andy. And Richie Temple, was the injury time against Millwall the best atmosphere ever? Personally up there with Jackson's goal v Derby and Steve Bruce's semi-final versus Ipswich. And all goals second half in front of the Barclay. Big thumbs up. I'm guessing Richie sits in the Barclay. What a place to sit. Best atmosphere at Carrow Road? Who was there? Were you there, Dan?
I wasn't there, no, sadly.
I was there. I think Simeon Jackson's goal, as just a pure moment of celebration, was possibly better, and closest header against Ipswich again for just the relief of it was better.
Oh no!
But the person to ask was Dad, because he was stewarding at the back of the Millwall fans. So he had a lovely view of Pookie's winner.
You were there? Is that where you normally are with the away fans?
I've been in away fans mostly this season, yes. So
Is that enjoyable?
it was different. Clearly, you can't really show any emotion when Norwich score a late goal like that when you're in with the Millwall fans. So it was different.
Bless you, Mark. What a job. That's some job. Good, fair play to you. I don't know many people who could do it. So there we go. And brilliant. Barry Newman, here we go. Let's leave last message to Barry. I believe Norwich have a massive opportunity to go up this season. It's in our hands. Can't see how we can finish outside the top six as we display consistency, although a long way to go. We need to enjoy this season as we are currently doing. Just wanted to say I have massive massive respect for Farke and coaching staff and Webber, as the pressure must be immense with the resource, and what a U-turn from last season. Barry, what a thing to say. Top stuff. So for Bolton, key man and predictions please for the game. Dan, who's your key man?
Key man, it's the main man, Mr. Pookie again. I think he came in, no expectation at all. A guy who's had a real kind of journeyman career, but he's kind of found a home at Norwich, and I think players can go through a whole career and not find that kind of club to be at home. Pookie's at home here, and the way the goals have come, terrific, and I think again it'll be a key figure on Saturday.
How do you feel about being the key? No, Andy, yours?
I feel good about it. I would have said Pookie, but I'll go Cruel, and the reason I'll go Cruel is I think we're going to create chances, but I also think Bolton play that sort of counter-attack style, and they will get one or two chances, and if Cruel keeps them out, we'll win the game.
I agree with Pookie. Pookie, I think it's going to be a key player.
Not going to make any more jokes. Go on, prediction then, Mark.
I hate these, but I'm going to say 2-1 to Norwich.
Did it?
I said that on the Along Come Norwich preview. 2-1.
I'll stick to it.
2-0, a Tim Krul clean sheet, which I think he needs.
And Alan Monument chips in with a 2-0 himself. We are done. That is us for tonight. Goodness me. What a show that was. Remember, you can catch this show and all our superb Norwich City coverage on the PinkUn's Facebook page and YouTube channel. And, of course, the brand new app for that Paddy's Sunday brunch video, which is all there. But first and foremost, pinkun.com. I'll be at Carrow Road on Saturday alongside Paddy David and David Freezer. So make sure you keep tabs on pinkun.com for all the build-up, team news live and behind-the-scenes coverage, of course, on the app, reaction and analysis. And if you see us around, make sure you say hello. We'll be back again next Wednesday evening from our new regular time or ish of 6 p.m, all of us, from the Woolpack on Golden Ball Street, of course, in the centre of the fine city, with all the usual fun and games. So please join us, be it in the flesh, of course, down here at the pub, or online as well. We are working on popping in on a few new venues as well. We're hoping that for the new year. So feel free to volunteer anywhere you think we should rock up, and we'll probably bring a pack of biscuits. I'm going to throw that in there.
Custard
I'll bring
creams.
a pack of custard creams, Dan, you think?
Please, yeah.
What would you want? What would persuade you?
Chocolate hobnob would have got me here on time.
Well, milk or dark?
Dark.
Man, well said. Mark?
Chocolate digestives.
Okay, well, milk or dark?
Dark.
Yeah, that's all right. As long as we're all right on that. Good, that's important. We'll save that one for next week as well, biscuits. Anyway, if you want us to come and bring biscuits and do a show with you, email us, thepinkun@archant.co.uk. And it's the same email if you want to join us on the show as a pundit. Please do. In the meantime, it is a big thank you to our guests tonight, to Dan and to Andy, and of course to Mark for stepping in. Thank you so much. What a debut. To the Woolpack as well, and the crew, who is Sean, who does a sterling job in enemy territory. We do appreciate it, of course. And to you guys for watching and getting involved. It does mean a lot to us. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again next week. Until then, here's to the Trotters making a pig's ear of their Carrow Road return this time, because Norwich City have got an average to maintain. Good night.